Wait, so we're live, right?
Are we live?
Yes, we are.
Why? Are we testing?
I was waiting for somebody to confirm with me.
Are
Uh,
we live?
Yes, I believe so. We should be.
Hmm.
you were waiting to confirm. We were waiting to hear what to confirm.
Hmm.
Happy Monday,
I guess
everybody.
so. Yeah. Happy Monday. Yeah. Uh, yeah. So welcome to the Foolish Tech Show. It's Monday morning, bright and early. We're here at 8 a.m. today and tomorrow at 10, and a little bit later on through the rest of the week. But you can check out the schedule at foolishtechshow.com or foolishit.com/live. We are here primarily to discuss and support our software and talk about our services. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to jump in and interrupt us. Again, you can join our RC chat, and we really would appreciate that, the back and forth communication. But if we don't get any questions from the crowd out there, we'll talk about general tech news, I suppose, and what's going on in our lives. Excuse me if I sound a little bit funny here. I think I'm coming down with something, but hope everyone else is doing well this very cool, or cold, I should say, Monday morning.
I think you're right, Michael. You are coming down with something, all right. But you're probably getting sick too.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. But it sounds like you guys are all well. Um,
Pretty good for this Monday.
good. Glad to
Better
hear.
than the last two.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Um, so I was looking into some news. There wasn't a whole lot going on this
Oh
weekend.
crap! New focus show.
Oh, focus show. Oh, I forgot about that. What what are we focusing on? I don't know. Um,
I guess we're not today.
Show off your opening incense build.
Oh!
okay, I guess I can do that. Oh crap, I gotta do the window things. Jeez, gets me on a Monday morning. Um, all right, give me a moment and I'll set that up.
Good morning, Bentley.
Uh,
Michael, you're still frozen.
Yeah, I know, I'm switching to another scene anyway. I know I'm still frozen. I don't want to. That's a great picture. Um, no, I can't show off OPN sends. There's too much stuff on those windows to too much stuff in those windows to show that off. Uh,
Jeez, it took me that long.
Is that why the
and
stream
there's
is
IP
black?
addresses everywhere and all my rules and the way I have it configured. That's not good. That's not good.
Too much time to come up with that conclusion.
So okay, this is a news story I didn't see otherwise. So it looks like do it. No, Glenn, I'm actually gonna pass on that one. The OPN sense is gonna be no, too much information. Um, So this is an article about the launch of the Switch, and what I got out of this though was the price. I was very concerned that that they were putting that the price was going to be a little bit too high. There were some rumors that it was going to be the same as the Xbox or PS4, circa 400 or something like that. And I was being that the specs of the console and stuff like that are what they are with the Switch, I was a little bit concerned about that. And it looks like the price is going to be 250 roughly US. So that looks really reasonable. If there's any Nintendo fans out there, that could be the big the big buy post-holiday. Of course, doesn't look like it's gonna be ready quite for uh, our holiday season coming up this year, but it could be nice.
Was that a game thing?
Yeah, that's their new console.
Not ready by the holidays? Yes.
It's Nintendo's new console.
Yes, thank you, Nintendo. Good.
And it looks like also too that Zelda's not going to be a launch title. Of course, the Zelda will be out. I think they even showed off some of it. But sometime later in 2016. And wait, let me get that right too. Let me just see here. Did I post the right link? I might not have posted the right link, did I? I think I did the announcement of the Zelda, but here's the other article I was referring to.
I think.
And let's see, what's the launch date of this? Did I have a date here? No, they don't. So it looks like
mind control isn't working, obviously.
It looks cool. But basically, it looks like their NES Classic is going to be their big holiday item this year. So, and we already know the sales of that is looking pretty strong. What's Glenn said? Create instance in VM and show that next time. Okay, we'll do Glenn.
Well, what you should do is actually do a lot of the material on on your own on just the weekend or whatever. Well, okay, I'm sorry, during work hours, and use Cam Studio or something to fuzzy out the parts that need to be and do it right.
Yeah.
Do an actual video, and then we can sit around and make fun of it and talk over you like you can talk over yourself or something. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, it might take a little practice, but you can do the video in such a way that it would not that we could play it while live and still, you know what I'm saying? You follow me at all?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. You can always pause what you're doing. You have to do a little playing around with SparkoCam and the video thing, which is quirky, or was anyway. So, but yes, I mean, get with me on that or something. I can point you in the right direction. Much experience with fuzzying out things. In pre-recorded video, at least.
So
I'm sorry. Did that completely break the topic?
No, it's okay. It's okay. So, it looks like now, of course, I don't do any of this, but I know all you folks seem to enjoy your Facebook time. Yeah. So this is an article about the app, Facebook's app, using 20% of your battery life on your phone. So if battery life is a concern, you might want to be cutting that app off.
But I need to know where Proctor's at the
but
gym.
This this show, but it's a common, all types of, and I God dare say this, news apps, because Facebook apparently is a news app now.
You're kidding? No, it's not. There's no such thing as a news app unless it's by
60% of their people swear that their single and only source for news is Facebook. That's crazy.
Well, that's their source for gossip. It's not news.
Well, they're calling it news, or the people are consuming it or believing that it's news, regardless of what it actually is.
News is reported, not talked about. I mean, when you're
really, because I couldn't tell. I've been putting on news channels for the longest time, and they seem to me just like completely editorial anyway. They have
Oh.
they have a 30-minute or an hour show in a 24-hour news period that is actual news.
The
But
premium
the
ones
rest of it
generally
is
do have mostly editorial, but it's kind of hard to fill 24 hours of news when they usually have sort of a focus area.
24 hours of news. If you
See what I'm
took
saying?
all the
Focus
local
area.
news in all the
They
countries in the
usually
world,
have a focus area.
I guess. I don't know.
No one really cares about the local news in Zimbabwe either right now. Like, not here anyway. I don't know about you.
So this doesn't.
I don't know. It seems to me though more like the news media is an entertainment outlet, just like
There you go. I'm
It is.
going to
That's
agree with
good.
that.
Thank you.
than it
Thank you.
is
That's
really
all
for
good.
reporting the news and current events and things like that.
You're right.
Glenn points out that if he didn't have two businesses, I would not want Faceless Book. I think I get what he's saying there. So
No doubt.
this doesn't give me much hope. So apparently, Freedom of Information Act request was filed for the Secret Service, and it brought up the number of computers that they've, I guess, what they're saying, lost. I guess they
1,024 of them.
And that isn't that a little odd that the number is 1,024?
Yeah.
A kilobyte? We've lost a kilobyte of computers. What's wrong with this article? They do a breakdown. No, that's 1,024 computers. It doesn't include all the other devices. So the
1,024 computers, 736 phones, and 121 guns.
this is a lot of crap to misplace, but it is since 2001. But that's still losing a good little bit every single year. I'd like a little bit more explanation into this, but that's government for you. All right.
It certainly seemed a bit disturbing.
It does. So this might be cool to look into. So this is about crash test dummies. And apparently, are they doing cars made in Mexico versus cars made in the US and comparing the results? Are they doing the same manufacturers? Oh. Okay. They're both in the test. It was both Nissans, and one was a 2015 model specifically marketed in Mexico, and the other one was a Versa 2016 model made in the U.S. So, see, the thing is, I don't know if you'd have to have almost the same car to make any type of comparisons here. So I take this with a grain of salt, but could be interesting. I just, without using the same car, it's impossible to imply, I guess, the state of Mexican car manufacturing.
Speaking of Mexican car manufacturing, the SpiceGiving season is here, and SpiceWorks is doing like I don't know what I'm sorry for all the campaign links in there. Whoops. But that's from my newsletter, the link. But it's the whatever, they're giving away something or doing something special, nice every day at the hour that starts after 43 minutes from now. So daily, I would say it was at 9 Central time. So yeah, at the end of the show, they should be announcing something. At the end of our show, they should be that time. They should be announced today. They should be announcing something. I think they're going to do it for the next week or two. I don't know. I'll read about it.
Oh, cool.
Sounded better than Mexican car manufacturer.
Yeah, I'm sure that it is. Yes, thank you. We're oh, what was it called? Um, the Concorde, right? Were you guys ever fans of that the supersonic plane that was
Can't
briefly
say I've
available?
ever been a fan of a plane.
Well, I don't know. I was always just
It was a very good
It's
plane.
it's fast, reliable, and expensive.
yeah. So, and it could only be landed at one of a few airports across the world.
Yeah, I
Very
never really
flyable,
had
but never
one.
got the
Populated
t-shirt.
areas at supersonic speeds.
I never really got to use one, so
Well, yeah, I certainly haven't either. I don't know if there's anybody out there listening that has had the privilege of flying on one, but they never really took off. It never really was a common thing, or at least I never perceived it to be. That being the case, I was hopeful that we would see, that come to pass otherwise, and it looks like our good old friend Richard Branson has a prototype of a supersonic. Um, are they calling it the Virgin Boom? I don't think they should be using like explosion terms when they're talking about an aircraft, but whatever. The idea is to go between New York and London 3.5 hours for about 3.5 hours, and the expected cost is $5,000 a flight.
What's the top speed or cruising speed?
Well, 3.5 hours has got to be pretty fast. Let's see.
I wasn't going to do the math.
Does it tell me? I'm looking. I might actually have to do the math if they don't. Yeah, see, this is interesting. The Boom's much smaller. There's only like 50 total seats, whereas the Concorde had about 100 or more. In some cases, depending on how it's configured. All right, so it doesn't say. Let me see here. Let's see. Okay, it's twice the speed of sound, so it's Mach 2, which I believe is a little bit faster than the Concorde was.
Yeah, it is. I think it was more like 1.4.
Yeah. No. Yeah, they both have about the same
About the same.
speed. Max. Now, I don't know if that's what they commonly flew at or not. That's just the max.
Yeah, my 1.4 was probably the common speed.
Yeah. But I think I think the common speed for this prototype is going to be 2, so it should still be a little bit faster. But anyway, it's going to be interesting how they're going to monetize that, how they're going to make that work out. Being so few seats, that's not going to bring the price down anytime soon. Well, I guess it's still going to be outside of my budget to ever do something like that, but cool. So more people are threatening to kill our president-elect on Twitter. By the way, that's illegal.
Huh?
In case you didn't know. 5 years in prison, I believe, is what it's going to get you. So, as much as you may want to say something, use your better judgment and make sure you phrase it appropriately.
Mm-hmm. That all?
Huh. This is an interesting project. It looks like they're folks at Phoronix, they're big Linux guys over there. That's their whole site's dedicated to Linux and Linux reviews and whatnot, Linux benchmarking. But there's an interesting project they mentioned where they're supposed to be trying to run Direct3D 9 titles through the Vulkan API. So that would be cool for bringing some, some older games to the Linux platform. Sure that makes the guys over at GOG and Steam happy as well too. Anybody that has a gaming client software, that's probably good for them. A multi-platform gaming client, I should say. Um, let's see.
What?
It looks like okay. It looks like Intel had done some announcements of their next generation chips beyond KB Lake. Uh, that's their seventh generation i7 chips. So it looks like these ones are called Coffee Lake and Cannon Lake. Where do they pick their names? I'm not really clear. But that link has some, very minimal information about uh, the package size and about the die size and about the potentially number of cores and the types of or the generation of the display technology that's going to be integrated into them. I suppose some of this information could change, but it's a little heads up for you guys. Looks like they're going to be some quite low power versions of these chips, and it looks like you're going to have up to 6 cores in it, which is good because right now I believe unless you go up into the extreme level with the i7s, the mainstream i7s are still 4 cores, 8 threads. And I was hoping that we'd see that number increase a little bit more quickly, but it's been that way for now quite a few generations. But it looks like it might change with this new one, so that's good. Glad to hear that.
Wow, you're running out of steam of 26 minutes, Michael? Really?
Let me see. Is this?
Dang, no comment?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry. I told you I'm not feeling terribly well this morning, and there wasn't a whole lot of news. Here's another.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
sorry. I still
No,
got
let
a
me
few.
interrupt you. You do it. You do it.
All right. This one I haven't watched, and I'm not going to watch, but apparently, and be careful. While this was broadcast on TV, on regular TV, not pay, not cable, it's almost not safe for work. But they do some crazy stuff on broadcast TV, and technology doesn't help those crazies get less crazy. So. Um, There is that. Let me see if I can find anything else. Oh, Brantley, I'm sure you would have something, maybe Pi something or drone something or not terribly super tech, but Obama says he can't pardon Snowden. Okay, I think we understand that. You can't set a you can't just set a precedent of pardoning somebody if you charge them with a crime, even though some people believe it's not justified.
It doesn't matter if he does it right before he leaves office, though.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of presidents, there's history of pardoning people right before they leave office.
Oh, sure, but you know, they don't. They're not usually precedent-setting things like this, though. You know,
Yeah.
listen to Obama. He
You don't want to
apparently.
set up presidents to inform on the government. That would be bad.
Well, at any rate,
To out the government when you don't think things are going right.
you all out there can listen to his reasoning for why he can't do that. So it looks like we've talked about this previously. It looks like those there's ocean power basically. So they're Scotland's going to put their first or basically turning on their first turbines, getting their first draw of power from it. So that's cool. I'm all about the renewables and reducing our carbon footprint. I saw a great article. Now I can't find it, but apparently, if you can dig this one up, but there is, and I believe I thought I read it over maybe on Saturday, but basically, if you a large 20% of the world's methane is produced by cows and their smells that they produce. Now that's huge. That's a big number. And anything that could potentially reduce that would be quite valuable. Well, as it turns out, this guy knew a farmer who was basically feeding his cows seaweed. And he did some tests with his, the farm and the cows, and it turns out that they were producing quite a bit less methane than was typically seen. And so then they isolated another seaweed specifically that was even better at that. It basically reduced the amount of methane the cows were producing to nearly nothing, or at least that's how the way the article presented it. If they're going to bring it to market in the coming year or so, but once that happens, there could be a major, major reduction. And if it turns out to be as cheap as traditional feed, it could have, it could be done across the board. I wish I had this article to share, but
I did.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice, nice. That's an interesting article title name, but I don't know if that's the same article I read, but thank you. Thank you for, I mean, it's the same story, obviously, but it just looks a little different. What else? Oh, crazy death frogs. Did I talk about this on Friday? I don't think I talked about that on Friday. That's an article about frog toxins and more frog toxins actually. Well, now I'm starting to get a little bit low on the pole here with stories. Let's see. No, that's not going to do it. That's not going to do it.
Even when there's things like exploding toilets out there, geez, you need to catch up on your Facebook news.
What? Why would somebody do that?
What? It's what happens when you flush sodium down the toilet. So quit flushing salt down the toilet.
Okay, sodium is not salt. Salt is sodium chloride. Yeah, sodium and chlorine are both very, very dangerous, okay, by themselves. So beware. I don't know why anyone
It
would
looks
do
it.
this.
You just
Yeah,
blew it up the toilet with
why would you
sodium.
do that? Why would you do that?
To show you what happens. So people like you don't try it at home.
I was already aware of the qualities of sodium and chlorine, so yeah. Um, but I mean, that's a little bit obnoxious. Is that a real toilet or is that a huge? It looks big.
It's a real toilet.
It's so that's just zoomed
Same one
in.
they
Okay.
did the mercury flushing in.
Okay. Okay. So it's a railroad test. All right. Cool. Very cool. I like it, even if it is a little silly.
Well, now, isn't that just creative? A dice tower. So you throw your dice in and then it spits them out nicely. And they don't go everywhere.
What's the purpose of this?
You
I
throw
like
your
that.
dice in so that
Oh, for
they
like,
don't go everywhere.
I got you for tabletops. I see. Yeah, very very cool.
I would imagine it works with anything that has dice or that you roll or anything.
Okay,
Of
do
that.
you see these things being used in Vegas or other? I think movies that depict gambling would be a lot more boring, I think, if they put these devices into play. But I like the simple. I like, these things are straightforward and anybody can make them, and I guess you can 3D print them, right? That's kind of cool. I like those concepts. Oh, look, and he made it into a little castle. Huh,
Okay.
neat. Thank you. Let's see. I've got one about, this is a video. Whoops, wrong chat window. So this one is about, this is a demonstration of Tesla's full self-driving car. And you can get an idea of what it sees and, how it does its thing, I guess. That's kind of neat. I've never been in a self-driving car before, so it's a weird experience. I better get used to it, I suppose. At some point, I'm sure I'm going to be a passenger in one of these things. So.
So the author of Curl, CURL.
Oh yeah, very cool tool. Yeah, so I know what he's gonna. I know the story actually. So basically, the guy, as part of the license agreement, he has his, it's open source, I think, but he has his email address, right?
It's one of the license requirements is to have his email address
Yeah,
there.
yeah. So he's got that, and so a lot of cars apparently. Brantley might have a little bit more detail on this, but a lot of cars apparently are implementing systems with curl, and if users ever run into a problem, they the only address, the only email address that they can find in any of the documentation for the vehicle or anything else related to the car's computer is his. So he's getting a lot of requests from random people about it, and he says he never. I believe he says he never usually answers them, but every once in a while, occasionally he does. But he says it's just interesting to him to relate to real world users using products that are implemented off of that, even if he has no, if he's no relationship with that actual product. Is that about right, generally?
Yeah, he has no relation with the products, and people are finding his email because that's probably about the only thing that they're listing under anywhere for support for these things.
Yeah, so all these IoT devices, all these
'Cause
car computers.
you buy your car from the dealer, and then the car itself has like smart equipment that's included with the car itself, and it has nothing to do with the dealer or the manufacturer of the car.
Yeah,
It's just like a third party that they've outsourced. So
there's no clear lines of support for the consumer to go through. I guess maybe as a bigger point of this article, if they run into trouble, they're somewhat at a loss as to who they're going to go to get assistance with it. That's an interesting question. Who is anyone even responsible for providing assistance to them? I don't know.
I don't know. I would think it would fall back to the car manufacturer, but it depends on whatever deals they have worked out. And I mean, have you ever called your car manufacturer?
No,
Tried to get support of any
no, I
kind?
don't think that would work. I could be
Isn't
wrong.
it weird how like you just take it straight to an auto mechanic? Like you don't go back to the dealer normally. I mean, even if you go back to the dealer, you're not going back to the car manufacturer.
Yeah,
Like,
the dealer and the car
dealer,
manufacturer,
but-
yeah, very two different beasts. I don't know. I guess would they handle? I mean, are they ever going to recall a car based upon a computer? Like the navigation system isn't quite right. I guess as long as it wasn't self-driving, that they'd let that slide.
Mm. You sound dead.
Sorry, guys. I've just been talking too much for the way my throat feels this morning.
Why does your throat feel like that normally?
Because like I said, I think I'm getting sick. But I wouldn't want it to feel like that normally.
Talking too much, I'm at though.
I see where you're going with this. Excellent.
Yes, indeed.
Let's see.
Well, let's see this, and I'm not gonna. Nah. Yeah, we're fired up. Glenn. So are you still struggling for something, Michael, or do you want me to?
Keep going. Yeah, keep going if you could. I need my throat needs a break. Yeah.
All right.
Keep going if you could. Yeah.
No, I just wanted to throw out some forum links that we had because it's actually related to our stuff. That's our show and stuff. So, yeah. So I've got a couple problems, a couple solutions, and a couple working on it. CryptoPrevent, SRP whitelist tip and solution for you if you need it. Let's see where to actually put the window. The gist of it is that the software restriction policies, the rules are a little weird and they're kind of I don't want to say difficult to understand, but maybe just not documented clearly enough. But the idea that I get is the more specific the rule wins. So you can blacklist percent app data percent /asterisk, and that'll blacklist everything in there. But if you actually whitelist something in that directory percent app data percent / name of program, you're pretty good. But if the name of the program has an asterisk in it, or any other directory has an asterisk in it, you're going to have a problem with the whitelist. The thing that I came up with the other day was not using, in this particular example, percent app data percent. and rather using C:\users \asterisk \, and then the user for asterisk for the username, and then the \, and then app data, and then roaming, and then your folder structure after that, and removing environment variable, basically removing the environment variable from the rule made that more specific than the blacklist rule, even though it had a wildcard.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Oh, you might like that.
Thank you for
Because
sharing.
it was actually a ticket for whitelisting, what was that? And apparently we couldn't do it, originally. It was about a month old, and or it was a couple weeks old, and I happened to see it somehow. So, well, I'll get to why I saw these in a little bit. But I started playing around with it, and, I was like, yeah, let's try an asterisk, instead of a. Now, of course, you're going to run into a problem with the drive letter on a different drive. You're going to have to do a documents and settings for XP, but you get the gist, It's a little extra work, but it makes the rule more specific. So,
What if you did the star for the or asterisk for the drive letter?
now I don't know. I didn't get that involved in it. I got
Like, how
it.
many asterisks does it make to be less specific?
Well, yeah, that's what I worry about. Like, I don't understand the software restriction policy rules and how they float like that. I mean, I imagine 2 asterisks are less specific than 1, but are 3 more specific than, is that more specific than an environment variable? I don't, I don't get that 100%. And if anyone wants to explain it to us, that'd be awesome too. We'll have you on. But if you've got a full grasp of that, just to point out in the thread though, if you're just watching, you don't click the link because there's no link yet. But the command line parameter that most people use for app data is /w. And the background on that is that was the only protection area for the original 1.0 CryptoPrevent. So /w stood for whitelist. Later on, /a was added for app data. No, /a was later added for
Custom path allow.
allow, as the word allow. And so /w remained for so it didn't break anyone's existing scripts that used that for app data. And there were some others that made it in between, but the point is that you'd want to use /a, because otherwise, if you use any other whitelisting switch other than /a, it will append some path to it. So now it's just to make your scripting a shorter process. But in any case, so that's the deal on that. If anyone has any questions, I'll move on, because I don't like questions. Okay, I will move on. The next thread is about CryptoPrevent 8. Like the last one was about 7. This one is about 8, but it actually applies to 7 as well. The guy had 2 issues, and first he says can't get the Windows clock to work, and the second was test protection not working. Well, we all know the deal with test protection not working. Did you restart the computer? And he did not specify, so we'll wait on his answer for that. The other issue, oh, that messed up, didn't it? Let's see, I already prepared a little window and everything. I messed that up. Dang, y'all. My bad. There we go. A restricted program has been blocked, and you time date CPL. Okay, and that a CPL file is a control panel applet. They're loaded by control.exe when you start control panel, and they are not blocked in this manner, but they are blocked by the filter module settings of CryptoPrevent when launched individually. If you right-click on the Windows system clock and adjust time date, it launches that applet individually. Therefore, it is subject to the CryptoPrevent filter module and its settings. CryptoPrevent filter module has two settings for CPL files, as well as SCR and PIF. They are constant and suspicious. Constant setting causes this. Suspicious setting does not. It allows you to adjust the time date on the Windows system tray just like you would expect. This does not, the constant filtering. The entire point to constant filtering is that there is no logic involved in allowing anything. It just stops it. That's the point. Suspicious filtering applies logic to determine whether or not the app is legit. So the suspicious filtering would let this through. And there is actually another little ditty you can do. Let's get that run. I also told the guy about another setting. And the other setting is run anyway, which changes the message to this. There's actually two different sort of settings for it, depending on CryptoPrevent 7 or 8. In version 7, the advanced menu at the top, and then the show more advanced options or something. And when you get to the advanced configuration in the top right, below the filter module settings for the file types is the notification settings. There's two checkboxes. You want them both unchecked. And in version 8, on the protection settings tab, software restriction policies tab, and what tab after that? Filter module settings, apparently.
Filter module tab.
Okay, thank you. And then it'll be on the right side. There's actually 3. They're not check boxes. They're what's called radio buttons, so you can only choose one of the 3. And the one in the middle, I believe, is the one you want to do the prompt. So that applies. That prompt, by the way, only applies to filter module based protection settings. So it's not going to apply to SRP. We can't just intercept that. And what else have I got? Ooh, I got one for Brantley. Yes, that is the complete image, sir. This was in the forums over the weekend. The guy has DPI issue. Changes DPI to something not default, and it causes the screen, everything to crop. I say we're working on it. Because we're working on it, right?
Yeah, I think I might have a fix in there, but I haven't tested it yet.
Okay, cool. But I just want to let y'all know that that is, we know about it anyway. There's that. And what else have I got? Ooh, yeah. Here's another good crypto thing. Manual upgrade to V8 issue. Get rid of that, John. Okay. Gosh, am I boring y'all yet? Manual upgrade issue with Thread. The guy, it was his executable was renaming itself to. Now I know why we do this. We'll rename the existing executable so it can put a new executable there to update itself. Apparently, you're. If you want to take a peek at that, if you haven't already, though, the guy actually solved the problem himself by restarting the computer after installing CryptoPrevent 8, after updating to 8. Imagine that after the manual update.
Doesn't it like ask you to restart?
It does, sir. Doesn't
That's
it?
weird.
It
That's
did.
weird.
Does in my testing.
Yeah.
But it probably, maybe it shouldn't ask. I wonder if there's a way we can get, just to say this is going to happen anyway.
We can, but people will be way more pissed off about that.
It's Monday. Shh.
Michael got all kinds of upset
Language.
when it was restarting itself.
Language. It's Monday early. I'm just kidding. No, I know Michael gets upset. I
Is
would
that-
get upset about that too, but
Is that a language word? Pissed off?
well, and see what I'm saying is that the installer process. Now you can have the screen say, hey, this is going to restart your computer when it's done, but no one's actually going to read that unless it's like only the restart prompt. You know what I'm saying? So if like the person started the process and it goes, okay, we're going to restart your computer. You can cancel this, but it's not going to install the software. Like before anything. And I don't know. We'll look into maybe.
It doesn't do that. It's like there's a setting that you can set in Inno to always restart after uninstall or after install.
Right. But it's the message that you get before installation is not sufficient for people. Because like by the time the installation is finished, that whole 20-second time frame or whatever it takes, that most people, like the attention span's gone,
Yeah.
and you just like the next prompt pops up and you're just like,
Great.
Next.
so yeah. But yeah, there's got to be a way to. I don't know. It's just when you tell people to do that, it's because it resolves so many issues. It's like 2 of them I've already talked about today.
Well, I mean, it's like, how can you make it so that people will read things? Like even putting something at the very beginning, you think people are going to read that?
Yeah.
They just click buttons.
Yeah. The only thing you could do is like take over and strobe light effect and be like, hey.
We'll be on malware. We'll place your wallpaper with with instructions. We'll scroll stuff across your screen. No, yeah, there's only so far you can go. But
Yeah, it seems like the only thing people.
Maybe
do
we can get the
are, like,
mouse to
once they
deliver an
get
electrical
infected.
shock.
okay, I didn't hear anything.
Well,
You guys just talked over each other.
Speaking of people not reading,
Yeah.
well, here's my next line item. I actually was able to do something about this, and we talked about it on the show like maybe a couple months ago, and from an incident that occurred earlier this year. And it's like we had one forum on our support portal that was general chat. It was for talk amongst yourselves, if anyone remembers Coffee Talk. What was that? Who did that?
Dana
Sorry.
Carvey.
Dana Carvey?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Back in the late 80s, early 90s.
No, someone else. But anyway, so talk amongst yourselves. I'll give you a topic. It's called where to post for support. You post for support in the forums that are for support, and all of the others, like all the other 10 or whatever, were for support, and they create a ticket in our support queue. So everyone on this screen, except for me usually because I don't really, but they get a notification about it, and they can do something about it. It's in their queue. It's like they're part of their job officially. It's in their work task list. But if you don't post in that forum, you don't get that. What you get is like you get the post and it's visible to everyone. It's visible on the internet, but it's not visible to us because we don't visit the public forum. We visit the agent side of the software, which is the ticket queue. And so we had all of these posts going months without responses. Like one was 5 months old, and the guy was like, and he posted a reply. It was like 5 hours later or something, and was like, why haven't I been responded to? I want to speak to a manager. And I was like, oh wow, 5 hours. All right. And it was 5 months later. I figured he probably didn't need a response at that point. So what I did was I canned the entire forum. There is no more option for this now. It's not an option. There is no general chat. Do not talk amongst yourselves. It's straight up support. That's all it is for right now. And all forums now create a ticket in our queue. it took a lot of work for me to get this set up, and I ended up, for some other back-end reasons, I had to manually recreate all of the forums in a new department thing, and move posts, and it was a hassle. So in like doing all of this and like moving every post and all that stuff like one at a time, yeah, I ran across a couple topics, and that's why I had some things to go over this morning. Actually, I started this last week or 2 weeks ago, but yeah, it's a little project. So anyway, and I will finish that up. So anyway, y'all can't mess up anymore, so it's not a problem. I just want to point out to y'all, though, I do apologize again and again and again that we didn't have that covered for you. But it does get back to that whole, this forum is not intended for support. This forum is not monitored. Please do not post here for support. Like making people read, just getting back to what, we were just talking about on this full circle. Yeah. Making people read. How do we do that? Yeah. Anyway, moving on. I've got one more.
Play an audio clip. Just have the computer talk to you.
Hey. Right. Well, but that could work during the installation. I mean, not from the support portal, but during the installation.
That would freak me out if the software started talking to me.
Yeah, just like, this is going to start, blah, 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 blah. Like at the end, we'll go, "You must reboot your computer now." Or something. I don't know.
Restart the computer, you must.
There you go.
Hey, I don't know. There's going to be issues with translations. There's going to be issues with the voice.
People without speakers
who there's gonna
turned off.
we're gonna have to enter in some very complicated like Siri contract with some person to make that happen. But listen, we had mentioned. Let me just one last thing from me at least.
One last thing from me.
Go ahead.
D72, the last forum post. I just linked to it. Proctor, you actually took this a while back, and yes, Proctor brought it to my attention immediately. No, nothing got done about it for a while. Guy in D72 is basically a feature request for D7X combo kind of thing, but he wanted a way to get all of the URLs for downloads in D72. And he needed those to generate a whitelist for Epoxy or something he's using. So all we could really do is give him the URLs of our servers and tell him about the config files and stuff, but there wasn't an easy way to just click a button and then get a generated list of all of the URLs used by D72 and used in the D72 custom app configs. Well, there will be in D7X, but there is now for D72. And so the download link is the first one there, D72 config URL grabber. Slap it on the desktop, run it from anywhere. Just download it, run it from anywhere. It will, as long as D72 is in session, it will find that and just do it for you. If not, it will prompt you for the D72 directory, or shove it in the D72 directory, the modules directory, and it'll work automatically as well. It'll give you a nice little list. Oh, wait, I did have a little screening for that. I mean, like we really need a screen for the URL grabber, but yeah. Well, anyway, it's in the link. Yeah. Oh, there it is. Hey, you saved to. Yeah. Okay, there we are. Yeah, I'm going to show my link, and then you get it, Michael. Okay, wait, that's not working.
Yeah, no problem. Take your time. Yours is more important.
No, it's not. But yeah, it is. So anyway, here's what you'll get. Just a simple list. I actually did separate it into domains and full download URLs because I was not 100% certain what the guy really needed. And I think the post was a few months old. I just, when I replied, it was just, yeah, it's 3 months now. So I did this like last week or a week before, and it just took me a few minutes. This is actually based on the D7X code that I'm working with right now. And just a quick update for that. Still working on the SFX Mini, and I kind of set that aside honestly for a few minutes, and started looking at converting the actual D7, the whole D72 code, to the D7X base platform code. So I'm exploring the possibility of doing that with the existing D72. And I'm kind of like, by exploring the possibility, I mean, I'm doing it with one of our internal tools that's D72 based right now. And I'm going to see how that goes. And if it can function properly, then certainly D72 can.
Glenn points out that he has no speakers on his client PC, so any suggestions about having sound during the installation of applications is probably not welcome.
We can do a PC. We can do a PC speaker beep like D72 does for its alert. Speaking of, it's a possibility.
Beep it out in Morse code.
Yeah.
Morse
I mean, like,
motherboards still come with those, right? At least a little.
Considering how much we freak out when there's like noise from just a web page, do you really think an install should be making?
I miss the days when they came with real speakers attached to the case.
Yeah.
Jumper pin.
When they used to actually look like speakers and not, some tiny little, thing that you just basically pass over with your eyes on a motherboard. Yeah, I kind of miss that too. Well, awesome though. That's great that you did that and built that tool. And the D7X updates, awesome too. Wow, I feel like this is a special Monday.
I'm working on our full tool to do that for testing, and that will also drive. The reason why I decided to do that first is because we can screw up our own stuff for one. And D72 is fine right now.
Absolutely. Sure.
We can screw up our own stuff for one, but for two, Full Tool actually does some of the things that D72 doesn't, but D7X will. So that's actually really good for that code conversion and updates. I will be able to continue to work on the D7X platform by converting some of those features with our tool as they go. And then yeah, but I haven't forgotten about the SFX Mini either, because that's on my thing right now.
Okay. Cool.
I had this itch to get the D7X code in something.
That's a good itch. That's a good itch.
Like in D72, it's like it's an itch. I want to get it in D72.
Good
I don't get it. It's an itch.
Okay.
Because I like working with it. It's like it's a pleasure to work with. Just need to start working with D72 again.
I just wish more people were in the IRC chat and listening to this video.
I know,
Hopefully
right?
Hopefully they are. I know it's a little bit early, but
I'll catch it later.
we did run over our hour here. I just wanted to. I had posted this link. I'll just repost it here a second. But if anybody's moving away from or considering moving away from Windows 10, this is one a Linux build that I was not familiar with called Zorin. It comes in a Core and Ultimate versions. The Ultimate isn't free. Core is, but the cool part about it is that it looks very similar to a Windows 10 desktop. So people that are somewhat familiar or used to working with that would probably feel pretty at home here. And it looks like they've done a lot of other steps to make it kind of well polished there. So I haven't had a chance to give it a spin yet, but it's on my list, and it could be a viable alternative for anybody out there.
Are you gonna do it on Sunday?
we'll see. But yeah, I hadn't heard of that, and they had a new release, so I wish them the best with that. Does anybody else have anything before we take us out? Any other last minute news or stories or anything else? Dot. Okay. Well, we're going to get cracking here on some other things. So thanks for joining us. We'll be here at 10 o'clock tomorrow, which is trash day. I can't forget that. And you can join us as always at foolishtechshow.com or foolishit.com/live. Please jump in the IRC chat. We love to have the back and forth. And we'll see you guys.
I have one more thing.
Uh-oh.
Ah! Yeah. So we have some flash drives left over from Spice World.
Oh, the nice ones. Yes.
And if anyone goes through and finds Michael's house through all the hints that we've given, he does have a few on hand, and you can pick one up from him. Just knock on his door.
Oh, dear. Why? I was having
So if anyone would like a free flash drive, swing on
Get Michael's address.
to this week.
and
All been
knock
rolling
on the
now
door.
in the last 5 minutes of the show. But thanks.
That's what you get for watching all the way through.
Thanks, guys. Taking us out. We're shutting down Twitch now, and YouTube is following shortly. See you guys tomorrow.